Hey, I'm Warren Sprouse. This is the Bible Forum. We're here every Sunday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Love for you to join us here at thebibleforum.net, and we'll look at life through a biblical lens together. Tonight we're looking at the Pope, the Roman Catholic Pope, and globalism. Pope Francis is exceedingly careful never to say anything negative about Islam, apparently because it would greatly hinder his efforts to bring all the major religions of the planet closer together. Ever since the very beginning of this papacy, Pope Francis has been pushing for global unity in religious matters, global unity in economic matters, global unity in political matters. In May of last year, Pope Francis welcomed one of the top Sunni clerics in the world to the Vatican, and he reportedly told the cleric that, quote, "Our meeting is the message," end of quote. Meaning that the Pope embraces this grand imam at the historic Vatican meeting in a bid to bring the Catholic and Muslim churches together. In January of last year, the Vatican released an extremely disturbing video in which Pope Francis declared that all the major world religions are, quote, seeking God or meeting God in different ways, end of quote, and that ultimately, quote, we are all God's children, end of quote. Summarily not true. The video also featured leaders from various major religions, and they are shown declaring fidelity to their particular gods. In November 2015, Pope Francis declared that fundamentalism, even Christian fundamentalism, is a sickness, during remarks in which he stressed the similarity of major religions. In September of 2015, Pope Francis traveled to New York City to deliver a speech that kicked off a conference during which the United Nations unveiled a new universal agenda for humanity. In that same visit, during a stop at St. Patrick's Cathedral, he stressed the unity between Christianity and Islam. These are the words directly spoken by the Pope. "I would like to express two sentiments for my Muslim brothers and sisters. Firstly, my greetings as they celebrate the Feast of Sacrifice. I would have wished my greeting to be warmer, my sentiments of closeness in the face of tragedy, the tragedy that they suffered in Mecca." Remember that year they had all thousands of people died, stampeded to death. "In this moment I give assurances of my prayers. I unite myself with you all, a pray to Almighty God, all merciful." In July of 2015, during a trip to Ecuador, Pope Francis spoke of the need for, quote, a new economic and ecological world order in which the wealth of the planet is shared by everyone. In July, he denounced global capitalism, referring to its excesses as, quote, the dung of the devil. In June of that year, he called for a new global political authority that would have the resources necessary to deal with the world's economic problems and injustices. In October 2014, the Pope publicly embraced the theory of evolution by making the following statements. "When we read about creation in Genesis, we run the risk of imagining God was a magician with a magic wand, able to do everything, but that is not so. The Big Bang Theory, which today we hold to be the origin of the world, does not contradict the intervention of the divine creator, but rather requires it. Evolution in nature is not inconsistent with the notion of creation, because evolution requires the creation of beings that evolve." Can you draw a circle? In June of 2014, for the first time in the history of Catholicism, Pope Francis authorized Islamic prayers and readings from the Quran at the Vatican. In ancient times, this would have been considered blasphemy, but today nobody pays any attention when something like this happens. In March of 2013, during his very first ecumenical meeting as Pope, Francis made it very clear that he believes that Christians and Muslims both worship one God. Now, it's true there is only one God, but Muslims are not worshiping anything close to what the Bible teaches as God. He says, I then greet and cordially thank you all, dear friends belonging to other religious traditions. First of all, to the Muslims who worship the one God, living and merciful, and call upon him in prayer, and all of you. Allah is not merciful. They pray for his mercy. Allah is capricious. Allah is overbearing. Allah is the master of his subjects. They never know the will of Allah. They hope they have found it, but they don't know for sure. And he has no mercy on his subjects. They kill each other, and they get killed in horrible ways, and he does nothing to stop it. In fact, he's behind much of it. The Catholic Church is aware of the importance of promoting friendship and respect between men and women of different religious traditions. He says, I wish to repeat this, promoting friendship and respect between men and women of different religious traditions. It also attests the valuable work, he said, that the Pontifical Council for Interreligious Dialogue performs. Now, the evidence is there. Pope Francis is a globalist. He's a liberal, politically liberal globalist. A globalist who is absolutely convinced that this planet could be transformed into some sort of great progressive utopia if they could just get humanity to unite. And when they're finally able to achieve their goal, what will they have? The greatest tyranny that humanity has ever experienced under the rule of the Antichrist.